Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to another edition of Step Chat here in the Floativerse. For those of you that I've not had the pleasure yet of meeting, my name is Steve Jones. I am the executive director of Float, of Aloft, of Fulcrum, and several other projects. And I welcome all of you once again here to the Fortress of Solitude outside Seattle, Washington for tonight's episode. And of course, I don't have a long sleeve shirt on tonight, so let's grab this because I completely forgot once again to wipe the camera. So there we go. Because every time I close it up or whatever, I get thumbprints all over it and all that fun stuff. So there we go. Good to see you all. Thank you all for being here. Whether you're watching live with me now on Facebook or whether you're watching on the replay on YouTube or on Facebook for that matter. So there we go. I do want to remind everybody, by the way, that past episodes of Step Chat are stored on the YouTube channel. For those of you that are unaware, Facebook has been deleting video content after 30 days. So anything that's live streamed onto a page of this nature, they just delete it out now after 30 days. So that's one of the reasons why we've been dumping it all to the YouTube channel. So there we go. Mr. Aragoni, good to see you, sir. Happy pre-Thanksgiving to you as well. Greg is, of course, one of our fabulous crew members coming back to Float once again. Very excited to have him with us. So yeah, there we go. It has been an interesting week here. The first half of the week was really, really busy balloon-wise. And in fact, we had a major event at T-Mobile this Wednesday/Thursday. With the F1 series going on in Vegas this weekend. Apparently, T-Mobile is a huge sponsor of that, so they had this whole like F1 party. And I got to build a Formula One race car, which is fun. I'd never done that before, so that was a nice addition to the portfolio. So there we go. Angela, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. So yeah, there's that. Murphy has been playing catch with himself, and unfortunately what he ends up doing every time is he throws the item that he's chasing or whatever to a position where it gets caught on something, or it's on a table, or it's in a bag, or it's somewhere, and now he can't get to it. And so there's that. But yeah, so blah, blah, blah. Oh, great. Okay, cool. Thank you. We sent an e-blast out earlier today to our first timers, inviting them to join us tonight here on Step Chat, so that they can ask questions live and in person, that kind of thing. And thankfully, several of them who are taking my request very seriously and sent their headshots in the last couple of hours. So yay, very happy about that. Thank you. Dina just got home in time, went to see Wicked for good. Oh, very good. Mm-hmm. You found it. Yay. He found what's left of his dinosaur chew toy. So there's that. So yeah, welcome. Mr. Phil Whitehead, good to see you, sir. Thank you very much for being here. Another one of our crew members, our fabulous security director coming to Float. Thank you, Phil. And by the way, I am thoroughly enjoying Janice's popcorn balls. So thank you. They're fantastic. I'll be dining on another one as I drive home tonight. So there we go. And again, please note that I appreciate the fact that she made them purple. So for those of you that are unaware, even though Float is everything orange, my day-to-day business is balloon designers here in Seattle. And as a result of which, our colors are purple. So ironically enough, my three favorite colors in the world are purple, orange, and let's see who can guess the third one. So there's that. Yes, I know, buddy. You're very excited. I know. My dog he's been silent all day. All day. Then the moment I sit down here to do this, as has been pointed out to me, people are like, he sees you at his level now. He thinks that it's ready to. There we go. Yes, I'm tormenting the dog. There we go. Okay. So yeah, there we go. So we'll see if anybody even bothers to guess what the third color is. So that's fine. Okay, Angela, there's a lot of shades of blue, right? You gotta be more specific than that. But anyway, I'm not saying that it's blue. I'm just saying there's a lot of shades of blue. So there's that. Green. Let's see here. Again, lots of shades of green. Dory, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. So yeah, why don't we get started and see? Well, I'm going to give this a minute to see if anybody can actually guess it. Orange has always been, orange is without question, it's my favorite color. Natasha, I bet it's pink. Oh, chartreuse. I do really like chartreuse. Chartreuse is a great color. I was so excited when Qualitex in their last few days of existence came out with chartreuse. So there you go. Actually, technically speaking, I feel Justinian white. Nope, not white. But I will say that Natasha is actually pretty close to it. Believe it or not, my third favorite color is fuchsia. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But when I was years and years ago, I was Al Bundy for a short period of time. My very first job was selling shoes. I worked in a clothing store back in California called Miller's Outpost, and they put me in the shoe department. And I don't know what it was, but there was something about fuchsia that I just really liked. So there we go. So Natasha wins. Yay. There you go. I'll give her credit for that. Yes, it is Sunday already. Hello, Jessica, one of our fabulous sponsor reps. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that shortly. So here we go. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and get into the meat of our presentation tonight? So bear with me for just a moment, please, while I go to share the screen with everybody. There we go. And let's get this moving. I do want to remind everybody once again that once I'm with me sharing the screen and stuff, it is tougher for me necessarily to see, because once again, the comments are not showing up on my Facebook feed. They're only showing up on StreamYard. And because of that, I can't necessarily. So what I have to do is I actually have to go back and then come back on again. I don't know why this is happening. I really don't. I really hate it. But it does. So there we go. So welcome. Thank you very much for joining me once again on a Sunday night as we get closer and closer to float. In fact, we are 63 days away. We are just about 2 months away from the start of Float 2026. Sorry about that. And I almost said 22 for some reason. Don't ask. So yeah, we're very excited about that. Looking forward to it and cannot wait. Well, I can wait for it to get here because I have a lot to do. But with that being said, there are more important things that we have to discuss right away. For those of you watching who have not yet registered for Float, our coupon code promotion ends this Wednesday. Okay? So the $75 off a domestic registration to Float, this promotion ends Wednesday. Your last chance to take advantage of it is Wednesday. And if you're one of our sponsor partners that's involved in this coupon code contest, you really want to start pushing this, because right now, the difference between first place and second place in our contest is just one registration. So the difference between first and second is one reg. And remember, first place gets a free booth at Float 2028. So there's that. So there we go. Okay, so Stacy Moore, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. And Stacy Chase, I see you as well. Good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Now, give me just a few minutes. We are going to very quickly go through these coupon codes. But before I do, there is one thing I want to share with everybody, and that is, please remember, these coupon codes are only good on U.S. academic registrations. These are only good on the $7.95 coupon, or the $7.95 registration price. I've had multiple people try to and get really mad at me because they're like, I just signed up for Float and it didn't give me my discount. That's right, because you signed up as an international delegate. The international rate is $200. It's $220 cheaper than the domestic rate. You're not getting a coupon code off that. You're already getting a discount off that. I had one person get really upset and said, why isn't it applying my coupon code? You're trying to sign up for a weekend pass. We're not going to give you $75 off a $295 pass. That doesn't make sense. That's not business sense. Okay. So let's think about, so just keep that in mind, that it's only good for the U.S. domestic rate. All right, here we go. We're going to blow through these quickly. Our friends at A to Z, if you want to save $75, use the coupon code A2Z. Save $75. Our friends at All American Balloons are using their initials AAB, Alpha Alpha Bravo for All American Balloons. Our friends at Aeropole are sponsoring Float through our vendor showcase. Aeropole with an O in the middle, not an A, because a lot of people make that mistake. Anagram, our friends at Anagram, one of our big sponsors coming to Float. Use the word anagram, save $75 off. One of our newest sponsors coming to Float, Babaloon, out of Las Vegas. Babaloon, B-A-B-A, Loon. Our friends up in Canada at the Balloonery, give it up to them, and their code is Balloonery, just like their name says. Our friends from Spain, Balloonia. Once again, if you want to save 20 or 75 bucks, use the word Balloonia for your coupon code. Our friends from Premier Balloon Imports representing Bell Ball. If you want to save 75 bucks off, use Bell Ball. It's B-E-L-B-A-L. It's a little confusing, but it's their brand. Our friends at Metallic, and I finally get to drop the new logo in that I've been sitting on for like 3 weeks because I wasn't allowed to do anything with it. There we go. Our friends at Metallic, use the coupon code Metallic and save 75 bucks. La Buchona de los Globos. The jewelers coming to Float once again. Use the code Buchona and save $75 off a U.S. domestic registration. Our friends at Burst Party Co. with a brand new logo. Check it out with them. Use the code BURST and save 75 bucks. Longtime supporters of Float, Burton and Burton. Give it up to them. Use the code Burton and save $75. Our friends at the Coalition for Responsible Celebrations, C4RC. I know that's a little confusing because it's CRC, but it's C4RC. City Balloons, our friends from, I believe it's Houston, I think it is. Use the word city and save 75 bucks. Click Click, our good friends at Click Click. C-L-I-K, C-L-I-K. Don't use the dash, it won't work. Joette and ballooncoach.com. Use the word coach and save $75 off your registration to Float 2026. Community from the balloon community, one of our newest vendors. Use the word community and save $75 off. Cool Party Balloons with Cool Party, sponsoring Jesus Tejada this year at Float. Use their code and save. Deco Champ bringing Balloonacy out of Boston with Didi Forgione. So use the word Deco Champ, save 75 bucks off. Decomex, Jessica, our friends with Bargain. Use the word Decomex and save $75. Randy Harbin coming back to Float once again with Devil Dog Accounting Solutions. Use Devil Dog and save. Balloons Direct, a new vendor at Float this year. Use the word direct and save 75 bucks. Our good friends at Elatex, one of our educational sponsors, sponsoring Mary Hohikian. Use their name, Elatex, and save 75 bucks off a U.S. registration. A new vendor coming to Float, Event Office. Use the word Event Office and save 75 bucks. And they have an ad. They ran a post in the Float group, by the way, for those of you that haven't seen it. Everts, a balloon manufacturer that caters to boutique lines. Use the word Everts and save 75. Our good friends with Fanfare, sponsoring Alyssa Murray's classes at Float. Use the word Fanfare with an E on the end to save 75. Festi Balloons coming back once again. Use Festi with an I on the end and save $75 off a U.S. registration. Fiesta Balloon Plus. Use the word Fiesta and save 75 bucks. Foils by Float Co. coming once. Not coming once again. This is their first time coming to Float. There we go. Use the word Foils by. 2 words, but slammed together. Foils by. Our friends out of Miami, Funny Balloons. Well, technically, I guess it's Hialeah, but use the word funny and save $75. Gemar Balloons. Again, right. It's so funny that they're right behind funny. Gemar Balloons. Use the word Gemar. Use the name and save 75. The Balloon Guild sponsoring Float once again as a vendor. Check out their code at Guild and save $75 off the registration to a U.S. reg. Having a party out of Brooklyn. Brooklyn represent Havin. No G on the end. Havin. And save 75. Our friends out of St. Louis and Denver, Hico Balloons. Use the word Hico, H-I-C-O, and save $75. Our friends, not to be outdone, with High Float Balloons. Use the word name High Float and save $75. Out of Los Angeles, our friends at Joker Party Supply sponsoring Jessica Cruz Torres as one of our instructors. Use their word Joker and save. Our manufacturing friends at Calisan sponsoring Andrea Camacho. Use the word Calisan with a K and save $75. Out of Glendale, California, our friends at LA Balloons use the word slam together, LA Balloons, and save $75. Our friends with Borisino and Legenda use their word Legenda. That's great. Use the word Legenda and save $75 off the registration by Wednesday. Our friends at La Rocks sponsoring Amanda Bruce's bonus class. Check them out. Save $75 by using the word La Rocks, their name. Lily's Decorations coming back to the vendor showcase. Use the word Lilies, Lilys, and save $75. Yo Couture, not only sponsoring the fashion show, but a booth in the vendor showcase as well. Use Mara's name, Mara, M-A-R-A, our fabulous, she was one of our Aloft instructors as well. Use her name and save $75. Our good friends at Mayflower Distributing, use the word Mayflower and save $75. Our friends from Nova Datas Pema, use the word Mega Shine and save $75 as long as you register by Wednesday. Mingle Balloon Co., a brand new vendor coming to Float. Use the word Mingle and save $75. Here in Seattle area, our friends at MSR Balloons use the letters MSR and save $75. If you remember last week live on the show, somebody used their code while we were broadcasting live. Let Nicole Help, one of our digital sponsors involved in Float this year. Use the code Nicole and save $75. From across the pond, a first-time vendor at Float, Oak Tree UK, coming to show off. Check them out. Use their code Oak Tree, 2 words, but slammed together as one. Another brand new vendor coming to Float, OFX, with special effects devices and things. Check them out. Use their code OHFX to save $75. Another first-time vendor coming to Float, Party Brands. Use their name, Party Brands, and save $75 off a U.S. registration. Our friends at Globos Payaso returning once again. Use the coupon code that means clown in Spanish, Payaso, and save $75. The return of Pioneer Balloon coming back as both a sponsor and a vendor this year. Use the code Pioneer to save $75. Our friends at Premium Conwin, use their first name, Premium, and save $75. Our good friends out of Atlanta, Georgia, PS Helium, sponsoring and vending at Float and sponsoring Linda Lopez, remember, as one of our sub-instructors. Use the word PS Helium to save $75. Our good friends out of the Boston area at Rainbow Balloons, use the word Rainbow, sponsoring Brianna Silvio, and save $75. A brand new vendor coming to Float, Regal Loons, use their name Regal, like royalty, Regal, and save $75 off a registration. Silver Rainbow out of Northern California, use the word silver and save $75 off your registration to Float. Our good friends out of Miami with Toy World, both a sponsor and a vendor coming to Float, use the words Toy World combined as one and use $75. How could we ignore our good friends at Tough Techs out of Columbus, Ohio? We are so excited to have them coming with us once again. Use their name, Tough Techs, to save $75. Brand new vendor coming to Float, Uniforms and More. Give it up to them and use the code UNIFORM to show your love and save $75 off. And bringing up the rear, one more brand new vendor coming to Float. I believe the pronunciation is Cicali Balloons out of Texas. Use their name, XICALI. Let me try that again. XICALI, and save $75 off a Float. If you have missed any of these folks, almost all of them can be found on our Instagram feed. So if you want to go back and if you want to grab somebody or whatever, check out our Instagram at The Real Float 2026, because somebody thought they would take Float 2026. So there's that. So, but again, I do have to remind each and every one of you, these coupon codes absolutely, emphatically expire on Wednesday. The moment it turns Thanksgiving here in the United States, those codes are gone. Okay? So there we go. So thank you all very much. And we want to take a moment to thank all of our vendors and sponsors who are participating in Float. Speaking of which, we've got some updates for you. I'm very thrilled to share. We have some updates. Also, for those of you that are watching, if you are one of our vendor or sponsor partners, we do have an e-blast that's going out to you tomorrow. It was supposed to go out on Friday, but I just did not get the chance to finish it. And it is going to be updating you on a lot of stuff behind the scenes that's going on and some of the remaining opportunities, because there have been dramatic changes to many of the opportunities. We'll talk about those a little bit tonight, and we'll go from there. So there we have it. Again, I got to keep scrolling back and check on all this stuff. Let's see here. Bear with me for just a second. I've lost a lot of these. Abby, good to see you. One of our amazing crew members coming to Float. Abby from Mexico City. Liliana, one of our fashion designers. Good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Joette, thank you for joining us. Tabitha, thank you always for being here. One of our fabulous instructors. Jacqueline Hernandez, one of our good and amazing dressmakers coming to Float. Gladys, good to see you, by the way. Gladys, for those of you that remember Gladys, Gladys was our friend that we helped raise money to get a prosthetic leg last time around. And I keep trying to get her to come to Float. Told her I'd buy the ticket. That's all I'm going to say. Neftali, good to see you, sir. Thank you very much for being here once again. Okay, so there we go. All right. Okay, so again, we do have, by the way, some new vendors. I'm sorry, blanking out. We have some new sponsors to mention for you. Not only do we have brand new sponsors that are involved in Float now, and we have some updates to existing sponsors. So we want to share that information with you as we go along here. First of all, I would like to give a huge thank you to our friends at Takara Tech. Excuse me. I rehearsed that 3 times. Takara Tech for sponsoring us as digital sponsors coming to Float. Now, many of you are probably like, who in the living hell is Takara Tech? But if you know what a bubble balloon is, they're the folks who used to make them for Qualitex. Well, it just so happens now that they're making them on their own. And unfortunately, our show conflicts with another event they're involved in, but they wanted to be involved with Float nonetheless, so they agreed to be one of our digital sponsors. So we want to give a big shout out to Takara Tech for joining us as a digital sponsor and supporting Float. In addition to that, a favorite friendly face of ours that has been involved with Float for a very long time is also joining the ranks as a digital sponsor this year. Give it up to Paul Teal and Event Welding, everybody. We want to thank Paul for his support of Float as well. Paul Teal makes custom frames. So for those of you that don't like making your own frames and want stuff that's going to last a long time, Paul, that's what he does. So if you're looking for frames and stuff, reach out to Paul at eventwelding.com and he'd be more than happy to chat with you about that. So we want to take a moment to thank both of those new sponsors. Now, we have updates on other sponsors. We'll share that in a little bit. However, once again, I do need to have a chat with all of our vendors and sponsors that they're at it again, folks. So please keep in mind, we got more reports this week of people contacting our vendors and sponsors, claiming to be representing either the Grand Sierra Resort or representing us, saying that we're here to help you get your hotel room booked. What can we do for you? And one of our vendors came very close to actually falling for it. So please keep in mind, there is no agency working on our behalf. There is no agency working on our behalf. There is no agency working on behalf of the Grand Sierra Hotel. We have sent out links on multiple occasions to your emails. Please use the links that are in your emails. Now, for those of you that are delegates watching this, you don't have anything to worry about. The reason we've talked about this before on the show, the reason why these folks are being targeted and not you is, Dina, I know I am aware of that. I'm going to wait on that question. So there we go. But thank you. The reason why vendors and sponsors are being targeted is because their website links are on the website. We don't have every individual coming to Float. We don't have their links. We don't have your company names listed on the website. That's why it's happening. What in a 30-second roundup, what happens is Reno Tahoe Convention and Visitors Bureau, on their website has all the upcoming events and conferences and conventions and things that are happening, right? So when we signed the dotted line and the paperwork, and of course we connected with the hotel through them, they then went out and told everybody on their website, yay, Float is coming to Reno. See what a good job we're doing. So with that being said, scammers then go to that website. They look at that, they see those links. So that takes them to our website. Then they start scouring through our website. Then they go to your website, sponsors and vendors. And they go to your social media and they go to all the other stuff. They try to find people's names. Some of the people have even been like, how'd they get my cell phone number? There's a lot of crap out there on the dark web. There's a lot of stuff out there. And that's how they're getting all of this stuff. So that's where the chain of this is happening. And that's why regular delegates aren't getting that. You're not getting these calls. It's just going to the scammer or just going to the sponsors and the vendors. So if you're a regular delegate, you really don't have anything to worry about. Okay. I do need to take this opportunity to remind everybody once again that really, guys, I can't say this enough. I really need you to get your headshots in because we cannot possibly try to cram all these in the last 2 weeks before Float. Every single one of you that sends your headshots in early really helps. Now, these are all, for the most part, really, really nice examples of people's headshots. But keep in mind, you can literally take a picture of yourself in the car or just stand outside and go, and that's it. And that's fine. That's all I need. We need these for your badge. Now, what we also do is we do turn around and produce them into the I Am Float memes that we then send back to you. And that's fine. So if you would like it to look nice, then you probably should be smiling in them. You probably should consider what's behind me or whatever. But even then, we try to crop stuff out. So there you go. So please send them to me at steve@floatconvention.com. It is imperative that we get those sooner than later. And by the way, to all of you that have sent me your headshots, thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. There's only been one or two that we can't accept. Murphy, what are you doing? Sorry. He's over. Your toy is here. I wonder if we've got it. So the other day, I think I mentioned this on the show last week. He flushed out a mouse. And I think he's found another one or the same one. Who knows? I haven't really, I admit this time of year, it happens all the time, but I think that's what he's up to. I think he's trying to get to something. So he smells something. So he's going nuts. So please, if you could really help me out, I would greatly appreciate it. Please send me your headshots sooner than later so that we can start this process rolling. Okay. Hello, Cheryl Scorit. Good to see you. One of our fabulous crew members coming to Float. All right. For those of you, again, who are watching the show, and for those of you who have not yet registered, we are just 1 week away. Tomorrow is 1 week away from December 1st. December 1st is the Float, Tote, and T-shirt deadline. You have to be registered by December 1st, by Monday, in order to be guaranteed a T-shirt and the incredibly popular overstuffed tote bag from Float. If you are not signed up by December 1st, you ain't getting one. Now, that's not true. You might get one. If we have extra, you can have one, but keep in mind they're in sequence. So the only way to guarantee yourself one is to be registered in time. This counts for everybody, by the way. This counts for academic registrations. It counts for weekend pass holders. It counts for jam pass holders. It counts for foundation people. If you're one of our foundational training people and you're brand new, okay? As long as you're signed up by December 1st, you're guaranteed the tote bag. If you're not, I can't promise you're going to get one, and I can't promise we're going to have a shirt in your size. That's all there is to it. The vendors and sponsors need time to get all this stuff together. It is an absolute, when you don't give them enough time, it is an absolute nightmare, and it ends up costing them twice as much to do everything because they have to rush everything. And they have to pay rush. If they're getting stuff produced, they have to pay rush fees to get it produced. Then they have to pay rush shipping to get it there. And it's really, really just, it's a bad scene all around. It leaves a bad taste in people's mouths, and it makes people not want to come back. So we have to make sure that we give them plenty of time. So again, if you want to be guaranteed a t-shirt in your size and a tote bag from Float, the overstuffed tote bag with all the free stuff in it, you've got to be registered by next Monday. It's a big damn deal. Flotation passes are starting to move again. I'm very glad to see that happening. A lot of you are like, oh yeah, I got to get my pass. Don't forget, the flotation pass is your ultimate VIP pass at Float. This includes, okay, now remember, this is only for people that have already registered. You have to have already paid your registration fee, but this includes unlimited come and go access to all of the master classes and all of the bonus classes at Float. It also includes a separate flotation folio with all of the class notes from all of the added value classes at Float, all of the master classes and the bonus classes. It also gets you a litany of other good stuff. It gets you 3 lunches at Float, 3 sit-down meal lunches at Float, and 3 30-minute flash classes as part of those lunches. Okay, that's free. You get a free professional headshot series prioritized on Wednesday. Okay, you get first dibs on the times, and that's on Wednesday. Okay, you also get 2 reserved seats for the gala. You and a friend. You can reserve 2 seats for the gala, as opposed to everybody else is pretty much open seating, except for Aloft people, which we'll talk about later. You get 6 drink tickets, free drinks. You get a surprise gift from Float. And there's more. I'm just forgetting. Oh, did I mention? You get to sign up for classes 2 days before everybody else. So you're basically guaranteed to get in whatever class you want. Okay. All of this for just $8.95. It's a hell of a deal. When you do the math on this, it actually comes to like $1,300. So $8.95 is $400 off basically the price. I think it's a fantastic. It's 33% off the bulk rate. It's a great deal, and that price is based upon the discounts that are available, which I'll explain in just a minute. But I got to remind you all that your last chance to purchase a flotation pass is December 15th. After December 15th, we're not selling them anymore. We can't. We have to have the gifts ordered, right? So we got to have enough time to make sure all that gets taken care of and addressed. So that's the deadline for the flotation pass. Okay. Does staff need to register? Absolutely you do. I'll be following up with that very shortly. Cheryl, thank you. Miss Stephanie, you're the best. You're the best campaigner I got for the flotation pass. That's all I got to say. Also need to remind everybody, in the off chance that now you can't make it to Float, okay? We're very transparent about this. If you can't make it to Float and you have to cancel, you have until December 15th to cancel and get a partial refund, okay? When I say partial, number one, there is a $100 cancellation fee. We also refer to it as the pain in the butt fee, right? Because it means we've already done a bunch of stuff for you and now you're not coming. On top of that, the $9 Planet Reg service charge, we never had that to begin with. So that's gone as well. So whatever is remaining left over from that, you have the ability to get that back. If you have canceled Float and you bought added value options, those are subject to a refund minus the transaction fee. And that's whatever PayPal charged us. Basically, we're not going to lose money on refunding you the added value stuff. That is a change to our policy. Before it was a full refund, but I realized we were losing, in some cases, hundreds and hundreds of dollars when people turned around and all these fees that we were paying out. Because when you do a transaction through PayPal, there's a fairly large chunk that's taken out. Well, if you refund all that money back to them, they don't refund you the transaction fee. That's gone. So there's that. So that's how that works. Okay. Now, some of you have been asking, some of you that are registered for, hey, it's 6:37. What do you know about that? Some of you have been asking, great question. And that is, how do I sign up for master classes? So, and people are like, I went to the website, I can't find it. You're right. You're not going to find it on the website. And the reason for this is because in the past, whenever we've had this link available on the main website, we get all these damn people who aren't registered for Float signing up for master classes. And they're like, no, you don't understand. I don't want to go the whole thing. I just want this class. No, you don't get to go. You don't get that option. You've got to be registered to go to Float to take these classes. That's all there is to it. And we ran into this problem repeatedly. So for those of you that want to sign up for the master, it's the same link in your emails as the flotation pass is. It's the added value registration form. Okay. So that's where they are. That's where the master classes are. That's where the bonus classes are. And that's where the flotation passes are. Okay. So there's that. All right. We have not one, but two different additions to the vendor showcase in the past week, and I'm very excited about that. Before I get going too far, though, La Buchona in the house. Good to see you, Betty. Thank you much for being here. She wants to remind everybody, if you've not registered yet, you can use their code and save $75. Very good. Okay. All right. So I'm very happy to share. Now, to be fair, these are new vendors in that they've just now gotten their booth for Float. They're not new to Float, but they're new vendors to the showcase this year. And we're going to start off with our very good friends, Jessica and Bargain Balloons. Yes, folks, they already had a booth with Decomex, but then this week they said, you know what? I think we need a separate space for Bargain Balloons. So yay. So our good friends at Bargain Balloons have picked up a booth as well. And I am thrilled to share with each and every one of you that our friends at Bargain Balloons are also providing you with the tote bags this year. Thank you to our friends at Bargain Balloons for sponsoring the Float tote bags. Thank you very much for that. Very excited. And they're nice bags too. So we're very excited to see that. Thank you very much. And I want to remind everybody, say welcome back once again to our friends at Poof. At Poof. They joined us. I think the last time they were with us was Float. They were at COVID Float. They were at Float 2022. They took last year off, but now they're coming back again, and they're coming back hard. So you can visit them online. I believe it's thepoofpeople.com with POUF. So we're excited to have them back with us once again. Thank you very much. All right. There have been some substantial changes in the last week to the Float social calendar. Sponsors picking stuff up. This event's getting shuffled around. So tonight we're going to talk about it. Okay. First of all, I want to remind everybody that if you're coming in really early, you can join us for the Friday Night Fun, which is taking place on Friday from 8 to 11. This is a very casual event. It normally consists of about anywhere from 75 to 100 people. It's all the folks who get there really, really early. As of right now, the sponsorship for this event is wide open, and it has been bundled, which means now that if you take on the sponsorship of this event, it is now completely, utterly combined. Okay. You get the whole event. You don't just get the entrance or whatever. You get the whole thing. Okay. So there you go. So if you're one of our sponsors watching and you would like an opportunity to grab that, this was a good one because it's a low price and it's all based on attendance, right? It's a lower priced event, but it's a great way to get some good pictures and everything else. That's coming up Friday. Club Latex, the ever popular Club Latex karaoke and dance party, Saturday night, January 24th from 8 to midnight. Keep in mind, the first 2 hours of the event are family friendly. Then at 10 p.m., all bets are off. So for those of you that want to do 2 Live Crew or dance provocatively while you sing, that's perfectly fine. After 10. Okay, that's all we ask. So there you go. As of right now, this event is wide open for sponsorship. And again, the decor for this event has been bundled together. So if you are looking for an easy, we want everything at the night, here's a great one. Lots of people. This one tends to get about 300 to 400 people at this event. So we're very excited about it. I'm always excited about Club Latex. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. Hold on one second. Let me check my notes again here. There we go. Okay. So there's that. I am thrilled to share with you all that Float's opening night now has stage decor, courtesy of our friends at Batalic. Thank you very much to Batalic for taking on the role of doing the stage for opening night. So we want to thank our friends at Gemar and Batalic both. Gemar will be dealing with the entrance. Batalic's got the rest of the room all to themselves. Enter a whole new dimension. Remember that opening night's theme is outer space. As an attendee, we request that you do one of two things. Either dress in your favorite outer space look, whether you want to come as an alien or as an astronaut or something in between, or if you'd rather keep it normal, then just wear as much orange as you possibly can. Okay? Trust me on this one. It was so funny because I'll never forget the story of when Ted and Betty Vlamis from Pioneer came to Float for the one and only time. And of course, Pioneer's colors were red, um, robin's egg blue, and goldenrod. And they were like, "We're gonna wear whatever." And Kim Moss, the former VP of the company, is like, "No, you have to wear orange." And they're like, "Why would we wear orange to this? We're not." And they said, "Just trust me. Just." And then they walked in, and everyone was in orange because there was no theme that night. There wasn't a costume contest or whatever. Everyone was in orange, and they're like, "Oh, I get it now." So that's fine. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you very much. And I want to remind everybody, make sure you get there before 7:30 because the one and only ridiculously talented Mia Asano is going to be performing once again. Right now, she is on tour in Europe with. She's been invited by this band in Europe to tour with them. So right now, she's over in Europe. Very excited about that. Then she starts a nationwide tour, I believe, after Float of her own, like her own tour. But she waited until after Float to do her tour because she was coming back for us once again. So we're very excited to have Mia performing with us. And of course, Mia will also be performing as part of the Float fashion show. That is also going on opening night. So we're looking forward to having everybody involved in that. Please remember, if you are a fashionista yourself and would like to be involved in the show, we are still taking on individuals that may want to participate. And of course, there are still sponsorships available. Or we have if a sponsor wants to bring somebody into the fashion show, we would love to have them as well. So there's that. Right now, there are, I believe, 10 designers in the fashion show. So very excited about that. I personally would like to see at least 12. I know that Pia would like to see about 20. So we're looking forward to that. So if you guys want to be part of that, let us know, and we'd be happy to help you. Now, as we talked about last week, the Monday soiree has formally been canceled. It has been taken off the schedule. The Monday soiree is just to recap this very quickly. In order for us to host this event, we had to rent an additional space in the building that was not part of our group bundle. We had to pay extra money for it. And as of a week and a half ago, not only was it not sponsored, no one seemed interested in it at all, which is interesting because for the last 2 years, this was the beach party. And everybody complained they didn't like the thing. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna do that again." I'm like, "My God, really? You get bored of a beach party?" So we decided that, and there were exclusive balcony VIP sections in this room. There was the first sponsor got to pick the theme. I mean, it was like total control. Nobody picked it. So as a result, as I mentioned last week, we have canceled it and we have formally replaced it with an adjustment to the schedule. So Monday night, in addition to the jam room, we are going to be hosting the Float Night Market in our vendor showcase. So the schedule has been changed. It's not updated yet on the website, but it will be very soon. I have it done. I just have to get it up on the website. But if you got our first time, if those of you first timers got the email today, that's the correct one. So be sure to look for that. The vendor showcase was originally scheduled from noon to 7 p.m. that day. That's done. That's gone. The schedule for the vendor showcase on Monday is now 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. We are going to have our DJ. We've already booked the DJ for the Monday party, so she'll be coming in and plugging into the house system so nobody gets blown out, because I know some people were like really worried about a DJ coming in there. We don't want this to turn into a party where nobody's meeting with the vendors, which I totally understand. So we have a bunch of other ideas that we're working on right now to keep this a mingling kind of affair, to keep it really fun and festive and get everybody involved. And we're going to have a couple of bars in there. And the one thing that people keep saying is, can we do something costume wise? Can we do something fun? Can we dress up? Can we do something silly that night? What can we do? And then I was having a conversation, and one of our sponsors called me and said, "Hey, I have an idea. Why can't we make it a pajama party?" And I went, "Holy crap, that's the easiest thing we could do." Now, this is not confirmed yet. I wanted to throw it out here and see what your thoughts were first before we commit to this. So there you go. So what are your thoughts on doing a pajama party theme for the night market event at the vendor showcase? So I haven't seen any hearts or anything flying yet, so I'm guessing maybe no. I don't know yet. This one to me just seemed like the easiest solution for people. But yeah, okay. So I see one, but yay, one. So okay, so we'll see on that thing here. But again, the idea is to go casual, to be comfy, and everything else, and then again, as we've talked about, we are making a commitment to our vendor partners to make sure that this event does not become a party in the room. Okay. Because the problem is, of course, if it becomes a party in the room, then nobody's going to the vendors. And we need to keep that kind of, together collectively. However, I also need to remind everybody, and I want to say this with as much respect as I possibly can to our vendor partners. At the same time, there needs to be you got to be involved too. One of the things I was thinking about is that with the night market concept, if you're thinking about running a special promotion at Float, maybe that's where you drop it. And then that would encourage people to come to your booth and find out what your special promotion is or whatever. That's an idea. Again, we've got some ideas too that we're working on, and we're going to run them by everybody and see what they think. But at the end of the day, there's only so much we can do. So we want to make sure that everybody is involved and everybody's yes. Okay, everybody seems to be really loving this idea. Okay, I'm very glad to see it. Oh, everybody's jumping in there with, oh my God, I love it. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So great. So there we go. I'm for one, I'm very excited about this. So yes, the Float night market has replaced the Monday soiree. That'll be Monday, January 26th, 6:30 to 10 p.m. Okay, there we go. And the other side of the coin is too, this might actually be better in general. I have mentioned before, Float used to have a problem on Tuesdays. We called it the Terrible Tuesdays. And the reason for this is because with everybody staying up late on Monday, partying at the Monday night event, and then 8:00 class in the morning the next day, people were tired. People had been away from home for a while. So some people were missing their kids. Some people were feeling kind of disconnect. People had a tendency to be a lot more aggressive on Tuesday of all the days. I've never had more people in my life crying in my office than on Tuesdays. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I mean literally physically crying in my office. It was almost always on a Tuesday. And I just assumed it's because a lot of people are just really, really tired. Hey, 37 people. What do you know about that? So what I decided to do last year is we backed up the Tuesday morning class to 9 a.m. instead of 8. And that went over huge. That made a huge difference on the amount of upset, angry people. However, we can't do that anymore because now that we've put a full hour in between classes, we cannot do a 9 a.m. class. We have to start at 8. So with this event being over at 10, as opposed to the original party that's over at midnight, this might actually encourage some folks to go to bed a little earlier and very possibly be in better shape for an 8:00 class the next morning. So there's that. I don't know what that means, but there we go. So either way, I haven't got to that in Duolingo yet. So there we go. All right. I also want to remind everybody that on Tuesday night, we will be hosting Academic Alley. All of our academic sponsors coming to Float are invited to participate in our Battle of the Balloons bowling tournament in the GSR bowling alley. This is going to be a lot of fun. 7:00 to whenever it's over. Teams, 4 people in a team. And remember, sponsors, you're allowed 1 non-company person. So in other words, if you find a ringer that's coming to Float, they can be on your team. You're allowed to have 1. Okay. We can't do we can't do handicaps or anything like that. It's going to be on straight pins, but it's going to be fun. There'll be a tournament, and we're going to find out who's going to win. Now, by no means do you have to do this. This is purely optional. I have heard of at least one company that's like, but again, don't have to do it, right? But it'll be fun. And for those of you that are just attending, you can come and watch and hang out and root on your favorite sponsor. So that'll be a lot of fun as well. And then Wednesday, of course, we have our tribute to our dear friend Tommy DeLorenzo, who passed away last year from cancer. Again, I've not had a chance to update the graphic. The Spread Your Wings theme is not necessarily the theme that we are going with this year. It's a different theme entirely. Hey, look, it's 37 people. That's going to be on Wednesday, the 28th from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Now, it is important to note that the ballroom itself, the actual gala room, will be opening the doors at 7. Okay. We are going to, because the space where the orange carpet is going to be really overwhelming space-wise. Like, it's going to be really condensed and crowded. And so we want people to migrate into the room. And on top of that, we're going to leave the lights up for a while so that you can get really good pictures of the decor before we dim all the lights. So there's that. But dinner is salads and everything are being dropped at 8 o'clock. So keep that in mind as well. Okay. We want to thank our friends at, I have to update the graphic. Want to thank our friends for Metallic. They hit the coup this year. They got both stages this year. Our friends at Gemar with the entrance. Calisan is taking care of all the room decor. And our friends at High Shine are going to help clean it all up and make it look pretty. And we want to thank our friends at Pioneer Balloon for sponsoring the DJ that night. So thank you very much for that. There are still sponsorships available, by the way, for this event. If you are a inflation sponsor, if you are a marquee mosaic sponsor, anything like that, you are welcome to participate as well. So we're looking forward to that. So thank you all very much. And yes, for those of you that are our vendor partners and sponsor partners, that updated packet will be going out there tomorrow. Milton, good to see you, sir. Thank you very much for being here. All right, let's update you on the competitions because there's a lot to update you on. As you all know, the competitions opened and went up for grabs on Monday. Hey, look, it's 37 people. However, we do need to update you on one thing. Yes, I am aware that the floaties, the payment is not working. Apparently, there's something we got to do on the back end to get that fixed. So I do apologize. We will have that up and running hopefully by tomorrow. Okay, so I do apologize. So for those of you that have been trying to enter and pay for your floaties, I do apologize for the inconvenience. No, please don't ask me to send you an invoice because that's just a lot more paperwork than is necessary. I promise we should have this up and running by sometime tomorrow. Okay, so again, I appreciate your patience. Thank you very much. For those of you that are new to Float, the Floaties is our photo submission contest. There are 33 categories, 33 categories that you can take part in, ranging from arch design to wedding. There's some of the entries you can enter 1 photo per entry. Some of the entries you order up to 5 photos per entry. So the rules are available on the Float website on the competitions page under Float. So there's that. And we'll get that squared away for you very soon and get that fixed so that you guys can start entering. Because like I said, I know there's a lot of you that want to do it. Also keep in mind that it's $3 per entry up until December 7th. After that, they start getting more expensive because we can't allow people to wait to the last second to turn them all in. It's just how it goes. It's kind of a nightmare. Lorena, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. All right, so let's update everybody on the different competitions as they stand right now with a 10 entry maximum. The sculpture design competition has 2 spaces left. Thank you to our friends at Gemar and High Shine for sponsoring the sculpture competition. This is taking place on Friday, December 23rd from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Remember, there is no theme in this competition. You get to pick your own theme. You are working with a 10-foot by 10-foot space, and you are allowed a team of up to 10 people, including yourself. Please remember that all teams are the same 10 people all day. Okay. 2 spots left. If you would like to sign up, go to the Orange Store at floatconvention.com/orange store and grab one of those spots before they are gone. Here's the big one that we knew was going to be the case. There is only one spot left in the entrance decor competition. This is being presented. The latex balloons are being presented by our friends at Elatex, and the foil balloons are being represented by our friends at Anagram. This competition takes place on Saturday, January 24th from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The theme is a whole new dimension or outer space. You can be 13 feet wide by 5 feet deep. Please remember, you must make this a walk-through design. This must be a walk-through design. You cannot just use that space and make a wall or something and say, there's my entry. It's got to be designed as if you could walk through it. And it's got to be freestanding. No rigging from the ceilings, no rigging from the walls. Our brand new competition that we borrowed from the World Balloon Convention now that they are defunct. The column design competition on Saturday afternoon from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. presented by our friends at Gemar. There are only 2 spots left in this competition. So if you would like to enter this, by all means, please join us. The theme for this, the Enchanted Garden, it's got to be a combination of natural elements and fantasy elements. So as I mentioned before, it could be like a gnome. It could be like pixies. It could be like little woodland creatures wearing clothing, that kind of thing. I mean, without going into copyright stuff, it could be like hobbits and wizards and whatever. But again, without copyright infringement. And again, you're working within a 5 foot by 5 foot space. Okay. It is the tree trunk effect. However, you go up 5 feet, then you can expand beyond that, but it's got to fit within the 5 foot by 5 foot at 5 feet. Okay. Presented by our friends at Gemar. Thank you very much for that. Organic decor on Sunday morning, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. There are only 2 spots left in this competition. If you want to grab, and by the way, I failed to mention, if you want to grab one of these spots, there is a $50 deposit per competition. And I will address that shortly in just a moment. So again, the organic competition Sunday, 8 to 12, presented by our friends at Metallic. I need to update that logo too. The theme for this is monochromatic, variations of only one color. So please remember, like the example I gave before, say your primary color is red. You can do pink. You can do fuchsia, as we've all discovered my third favorite color. You can do pastel pink. You can go all the way, but you can't go into orange because then it's no longer red. Like I said, with blue, there's lots of shades of blue, but you can't go into teal because teal is now roaming into the green category. Somebody specifically asked if they would be allowed to go, if we use gray, can that be the primary? No, gray cannot be the primary color because gray is either lighter black or darker white. So you can't use that as your primary color. The safest thing to do is stick with one primary color and then use variations of it. Okay. 12 feet wide, 6 feet deep, as far as you can go up the wall or up the ceiling, but remember, can't rig to the wall, can't rig from the ceiling. There you go. And finally, our table centerpiece competition presented by our friends at Babaloon, our brand new sponsor, Babaloon, out of Las Vegas. Sunday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. There is no cap on this one because centerpieces don't take up a lot of real estate. So we are actually not capping this competition. So we can take as many entries as we want in this one. So there you go. The theme for this one is celebration of life. We are asking you to create a design as a table centerpiece dedicated to the loss of a loved one. Now, again, I need to remind you, it could be a person. It could be an animal. It could be a pet. It could be something like that. It could even be a fictitious person. Again, for example, I talked about this last week. There was a character on Star Trek whose actor passed away last year, and it hit me really hard, right? There's been musicians that have died. I remember my ex-wife was in mourning for days when David Bowie passed away. So you can do that same kind of, you could pay a tribute to somebody that you deeply love and didn't even know. Okay. So this is you have a very broad interpretation of this as long as it's done with love. And we are creating a rule in this one. We made an exception to the rule. You are allowed a small single piece of paper size sign that can be placed next to your centerpiece to explain your connection and your piece. But But that's all you're allowed. Okay. Nothing else. That's all that's allowed in the space. Hey, 37 people. There we go. Okay. So there we are. Elaine, by the way, hi there. Good to see you. I saw you there. Here we go. Jenny, good to see you as well. Thank you very much for joining me. Also want to remind everybody we have two deadline contests. These do not require pre-enrollment. You just show up with the entry and do it. The first one is hanging decor. That's on Monday, January 26th from 12 to 1. So it has to be rigged and set during that time frame, sponsored by our friends at Click Click. The theme for this, by the way, is the magic of flight. So the idea is to design something that exemplifies flight. It could be a natural element of flight. It could be a bird or a pterodactyl or something like that, or a flying squirrel, for crying out loud. It could be something man-made, like a helicopter or a plane or a rocket ship. It could be of alien design. It could be a UFO. It could be something completely fictitious, like someone on a flying broom, or say someone on a magic carpet, as long as you're not violating trademark. Okay, keep that in mind. So all of that, all possible with this competition, courtesy of our friends at Click Click. And on Tuesday, during the lunch hour as well, once again, our friends at High Float are sponsoring the delivery piece competition. The theme for this is graduation. Graduation. And remember, you must incorporate High Float into your design. So if you don't have helium balloons, you've got to show me where the High Float is in order to qualify. Okay. So there's that. We're looking forward to them as well. And thank you once again to our friends at High Float for sponsoring this. Signups for the Designer of the Year competitions are available at floatconvention.com/orange store. You have to scroll. Some of you are like, it's not there. Yes, it is. You got to scroll under the video links and then it's all there. Okay. The reason it's there is, again, we don't want random people going to it and signing up for competitions. They're not coming to Float. Now, I do want to address something that came up last week, and it got kind of aggressive at one point. I wasn't very happy about it. One of our delegates has dramatically misinterpreted what these, I shouldn't even say that. To be honest, the individual misinterpreted our intentions. So for those of you that don't understand, the reason why we make you put down deposits on these competitions is because there's nothing worse that when you have 10 spots available and you get people that just impulsively sign up, and then 3 days before the competition, they're like, I can't do this, and they bail out. Okay. Now I understand that things happen and everything else, but you've now blocked somebody else who legitimately wanted to enter that competition. And we would end up, we'd have a sold out competition series with 10 people competing, and then we'd end up with 6 entries because 4 people bailed out. That's BS. So that's why we started charging the deposits. Now, the allegations that were raised by a delegate was basically like, this is just a scam and you're going to find every excuse in the world not to give me my money back. No, that's not going to happen. That's not our intention. There are only 2 ways you're not going to get your money back. Okay. Number 1, if you don't enter. And that includes if you cancel your registration. I'm sorry, it does. Okay. If you end up canceling your registration and you put the money down on these competitions, you lose that money. That's not refundable. Because again, there are people whose decisions are affected by whether or not there's spots available. And I know that some of you have said, well, wait a minute, if you sell that spot again, you should give them their money back. No, we're not. And the reason for this is very simple. Commit or don't. Believe me, oh, shoot, sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. It's part of the deal. It's part of it. This is a business transaction. Okay. The other way you could lose your deposit is by not submitting what is considered a viable entry. Hey, look, 37 people. Now, what does that mean? This is something that's kind of infamous at Twist and Shout, and I still have yet to figure out the humor in it. But when I used to run the competitions at Twist and Shout, there would always be one person 5 minutes before the competition ended, because, they have a deadline to turn stuff in. And this dude would run in with a 3-twist dog and drop it on the table. I'm entered. And then laugh hysterically and walk out the door. And I never understood it to save my life. And I still don't understand it to save my life. Unless it's just, look at me, I'm so funny. Ha, ha, ha. The problem is this can be abused at float. The whole idea is if somebody turns around and then drops a 3-twist dog is like, I couldn't enter, so here's my entry. No, that's where you're going to lose it. It needs to be considered a viable entry. Okay. Effort has to have been made to create your entry. It's that simple. And no, a 3-twist dog is not effort. Okay. So that's the only way it would happen. And I told this individual specifically, I said, look, if you don't believe me, no problem. What you need to do is when the competitions are over and Ryan is handing out envelopes to people, ask them what's in the envelope. Just ask them and see what happens. We're not trying to scam people. Now, what I will tell you is this. Moving forward, this may be the last time the competitions are free. We may have to start charging a small fee to enter because we're not getting enough financial support from sponsors for these competitions. I'm not blaming them. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not blaming them. Not at all. We're very thankful for what we have. But when you take into account that we're trying to give away prize money now and we have trophies and rare plaques to do and the whole bit, in many cases, we're actually losing money on the competitions. So we need to make sure that we at least break even on them. So we're looking at the possibility of having to charge a small fee. That fee would probably be $10 an entry, or maybe $5 for centerpiece or something like that. I haven't decided yet. But that's not now. That's next time. We're not changing that. It is now what it is. So there's that. So there we go. So again, I want to remind everybody, if you're thinking about entering, you want to get entered, go to the Orange Store and get entered. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about Aloft. For those of you that are newer to Float, Aloft is our 24/7 streaming service that we offer that contains over 150 videos, classes, and podcast episodes from some of the industry's top talent. Please don't be mad at me, folks. I am working on the podcast episode. It's in the process of being edited, but no, it's not done. So bear with me on that. I apologize. I do, sincerely. But I do want to give a big shout out to my buddy Carl Woody, who taught our class last month, and we're very excited about that. Or last week, I should say, excuse me. Team building through twisting. It was very funny because Carl and I were talking before the class started, and he's like, I said, ideally these classes run 45 minutes to an hour, and then we do a question and answer session afterwards. And he goes, oh, that shouldn't be a problem, whatsoever, blah, 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 blah. And then like 30 minutes in, he's done. And I'm like, dude. but Carl suffered from something that a lot of our teachers have talked about. And that is that when you don't have the interaction of the audience going back and forth, it's very easy to blow through the content, like to go really fast. And that's exactly what happened. And Carl was like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was be done that fast. So, but it's still a great class. It's some great stuff in there. Carl talked all about how he does these team building and these corporate events, how he does interactive corporate events with team building. And then at the end, of course, there was all kinds of talk about how does he build business off of that? Where does he get the business from? All that kind of stuff. So great stuff from Carl. Thank you very much. We're very excited about that. I should be able to get working on that. Yeah. So we should be able to work on that. Should be able to work on that while I'm visiting my parents. I know that sounds funny, but most of the time my parents are watching, like they're binging television shows. So I think I can edit video while they're doing that. So it's all good. Here's funny. Yeah. Elaine Holmes. Yes, we do get our deposits back. And Jenny was like, I didn't even realize we get them back when I signed up. Yep, certainly do. So there you go. So thank you, Carl. We'll have that ready for you guys as soon as I can possibly get to it. I do want to let you all know, by the way, that as of right now, we are still looking to finalize the December class. So bear with me. I hope to have that answer for you next Sunday night. I also want to remind everybody, if you are not already a member of Aloft, you should consider joining Aloft before Float. Remember, I forgot about that. That's one of the benefits too. That's one of the benefits with the with the flotation as well. Early VIP access into the vendor showcase on Sunday. The vendor showcase opens at 11 a.m. for everybody else, but for you, for Aloft members and flotation pass holders, you get in at 9 a.m. Okay. As an Aloft member, you do get 24-hour advanced access to the general class registration. So where the flotation pass people get 2 days, you get 1 day. So you do get a jump start on that as well. There will be an exclusive express lane just for you at the Float registration desk. So when you get to the registration desk at Float, you don't have to wait in the standard line. There will be a VIP line just for you. You get to reserve your own seat at the Designer Awards Gala. Okay. And you get a 10% discount off any and all Float merchandise at the convention. Also, there is a 50% discount off of headshots at Float. So if you are coming to Float and getting a headshot and you're not a flotation pass holder where it's free, if you're an Aloft member, it's half price. So there's that. Okay. So now it's time to get to more of our street level content. This is the kind of stuff that we do all the time. This is more of our day-to-day type stuff. So let's get started with that with our Step Chat survey. For those of you that are new to the Float group, to the Floativerse, we have Float the Convention, which is a Facebook group. And that is where we post the question every Sunday. With Thanksgiving coming up here in the United States, coming up later this week, I am very well aware that Thanksgiving is not everywhere in the world. We did pose more of a family-oriented question. What are your plans for Thanksgiving? And what's the best phrase that best describes what you will be doing on Thanksgiving? The vast majority of you will be preparing your home to gather for family to join you. So there's that. I think that has a lot to do with the age demographics of the average balloon person. Then the next step up, well, actually, there was a tie. We have visiting family. Now, of course, if I had voted, there wouldn't be a tie. I will also be going home to visit family, as I mentioned before. Nothing of consequence. I do like that, actually. People are like, nope, I ain't working. I ain't doing nothing. We're not cooking. We're not in. We're just hanging out and chilling. A few other people wrote in the comments the different random things they're doing. I would count those as nothing of consequence. Not to say that what you're doing isn't important, but there's people that are like, we're just going on a vacation. One, I know Edgar always does the Edgar Calderon is always a big fan because he's involved with one of the balloons at the parade. So that's always fun. One or two people, I have a job. I think it's one person. I have a job on Thanksgiving and then I can celebrate. We used to actually take on a job and then I realized it just wasn't worth it anymore. It wasn't enough money to be up at 4:00 in the morning for a fun run, freezing my butt off and then having to come back. I mean, it's just at some point I'd rather sleep. And then, of course, a couple people that don't reside in the U.S. chipped in and said, I don't live there. So what do I care? There you go. So thank you all very much for taking the time to answer the survey. Greatly appreciate it. It's always fun. Do want to remind everybody once again that Float is on YouTube at youtube.com/@thefloativerse. So the @ symbol is part of that. All of these Step Chat episodes are there. Also, there is the content there about the competition information is there. The Floaty breakdown is there. And for those of you sponsors and vendors, the private links to those videos are there as well. So we're very excited to have you. We ask that you like our posts and subscribe to the channel so that way you know when new things are going, and that way it can help us improve our engagement. I will also hopefully be working on some shorts, which will be added to YouTube very soon, so we can start sharing that. As we've already talked about tonight, Float is also on Instagram at The Real Float 2026, and we post there just about every day. So we're very excited to have that. But there is something else we're very excited about coming your way. This coming Friday, Float will make its very first TikTok. This coming Friday, Float is finally joining the 21st century and is getting off of not just on Meta platforms. Well, YouTube's not a Meta platform, but there you go. Float will be launching its first ever post on TikTok this coming Friday. So there we go. Very excited about that. I don't know what the call letters are yet, so we'll find out. But there you go. So that's this coming Friday. We look forward to having you tune in. I know that that's Black Friday. If you're looking to hang out with us, we'd love to have you. I will, like I said, the very first post is going Friday, and I will share in the main group when we actually create the account. So if you want to start following us, you can do so then. And finally, bringing up the rear of tonight, our weekly installment of the Float Wall of Awesome. For those of you that, well, like I said before, we've been trying to do this at Float for a couple of years, and it's always kind of fallen through the cracks. And this year, damn it, we're doing it. I'm done. I'm tired of not doing it. I'm tired of it falling apart. We're going to make sure it happens this time. What is the Wall of Awesome? The Wall of Awesome is actually something, believe it or not, we came up with about 10 years ago and just epically failed at till now. This is going to be a wall of balloons at Float that is going to contain notes submitted by you, our attendees, as to things that people at Float have done that are awesome. For example, let's say you take a class and you just think, oh my God, this class just changed my life. You go to the Float Reg desk, you say, I'd like a Wall of Awesome card. You fill out the card, you give it back to them. And then a couple times a day, the team at Float will post the awesome comments onto the Wall of Awesome to reinforce all the wonderful things that people are saying about each other and about the event. But more than anything about each other. Because again, so many people have a tendency to share all the craptacular stuff, and we need to share more of the positive stuff. If you were with me last week, you remember that last week's Wall of Awesome was our good friend Pia Guadalupe, who has been working her butt off behind the scenes on the fashion show. She has been tremendous, securing sponsors and getting more and more help with that. We want to thank Pia once again. But that was last week. This week, we want to give a shout out to another of our Float people. This time around, it's one of our teachers who has been absolutely just, first of all, I'm so impressed with this individual to begin with. She is absolutely an asset to this industry. The more I get to know her, the more I adore her. She is fantastic. She is incredibly intelligent. She is savvy. And for the last several weeks, not only has she been out spreading the word about Float, but she has actually been campaigning. She has been teaching classes and she's been giving away little alien figures to people. And okay, and when you take my master class at Float, we're all going to get a picture together with all our little aliens holding them up. She has been going out of her way, speaking to sponsors. She's been going out of her way, speaking to attendees, and really you really got to go. You can't miss the event. It's only every 2 years. You can't miss it. And I, for one, and I've been getting reports back from people. She told me to call. She told me to talk to you about Float. God love her. Thank you so much to our dear friend, Brianna Silvio, for doing such an amazing job helping out with Float behind the scenes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I meant every word I said. I am so impressed with you. I am before any of this, I was already impressed with you. Like I said, I've had the pleasure of getting to know you over the last several months. You're amazing. You're an asset to this industry. And I'm very happy to be able to call you a colleague and a friend. So thank you very much, Brianna. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you. Okay. And with that being said, everybody, that's tonight's episode of Step Chat for all of you. Okay. So I'm going to get back to, Jenny Porter had a question that I want to get back to here earlier in the comments. And I do remember it. I did not forget, but I got to find it because I want to highlight it. There we go. Okay. So Jenny Porter asked, when does the international fee go up? That is a great question. So there are, as we all know and talked about, there are there's 5 different rates for Float this year. Okay. And it's all based on access. You got the weekend pass, you got the jam pass, you got the jam pass, you got the international rate, you've got the foundation rate, and you've got the full US academic registration. And it's priced by its weekend, then network, then foundation, then international, then academic. Okay. All the prices go up dramatically on January 2nd. January 3rd. I forget. I got to look. It's either the 2nd or the 3rd. I should know this. In fact, hold on. I'll see if I can find it real quick to confirm it. Because I know at one point I had a slide for this. Did I keep it? Last chance for the international rate is January 2nd, which means that is the last opportunity that you have to get that price. Okay. That price is $575 US. On January 3rd, all academic registrations go up to $895. All academic registrations at that point, all of them go up to $895. So you got just about a month left to engage in the international rate. Okay. Weekend passes and jam passes will also increase by $100 those last 2 weeks. So there you go. So, and of course, when you know it, I went and there we go. Okay. So there we have it. Okay. So hopefully that answered everything. I have not seen. Okay. So Stacy Moore, we covered this. I could not wait, I couldn't add my pick, but I could pay. What are you doing? Stacy, no, you paid for the competitions. You paid for the main competitions. You did not pay for the floaties. So that's not a thing. There are rules. We have the rules for the floaty awards in the we have rules for the floaty awards on the website. Again, that is floatconvention.com. I believe it's probably activities-competitions. But it's on the website under the float menu. So yeah. But no, what you paid for online was the competitions, the Designer of the Year competitions. Only one person got through on the payment, and that's because it was originally wrong. The reason the problem we're having this is because originally what I did is they clued me into PayPal buttons. And they were like, you need to make a PayPal button for this and this and this and this. So then I thought, okay, I was going to be proactive. And I thought, okay, so I'm going to make a button for all of these flotation or for all of the floaty awards. So I made 33 buttons, not realizing that these buttons do not allow you to create a cart. So you would literally, if you were entering 10 categories, you would have to make 10 payments. And I thought that's not going to work. So I reached out to the web guys and I'm like, look, this ain't going to work. We got to do something else. Then they said, oh, we got a store. We can do that. Well, apparently there's a problem right now with the connecting elements between the store, between the website and PayPal. That's what we got to connect. So once that's done, I can take care of that. And then you can pay for your stuff. But yeah, Stacy, you did not enter the floaties. You entered the designer categories. So there's that. So Jenny Porter, have some Canadians you're working on. God love you. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. And actually, I may need to talk to you about that because there's somebody else I got to talk to, actually. So there's that. Okay. So let's see here. I'm going back through to make sure that we don't have any other questions that I may have missed in the comments. By the way, if you have questions that you would like to throw out there right now, please, by all means, throw them in the comments, and we would love to answer them for you. Okay, so it sounds well, at least from everybody that's out here, it seems like everybody loves the pajama idea. Let's see here. Nope, looks like we got everything. Okay. So with that being said, yes, you did. You tried to enter, but it didn't work. Yes, I know it didn't work. Yes, we just covered that. So there we go. Okay. Natasha, Mr. Murphy. By popular demand. There you go. Murphy, everybody. For those of you that don't know him, this is Mi Familia. There we go. Good to see you, buddy. Drives me nuts, but most kids do, right? But no, I'm not. I don't claim to be a a pet parent. I'm just nope. It's my dog. So there we go. Um, he's not going to be happy tomorrow because tomorrow he goes to the sitter. Now, don't get me wrong. He really enjoys the sitter, but every time we go to where this person is now, he gets very like clingy because he's afraid I'm going to leave. So, Melody, I came here for Murphy. Okay, great. So there we go. Murphy, your fan club. I feel bad. I forgot to take your harness off. Yeah. Yeah, he's starting to, I don't want him to have to wear the harness all the time, but I forgot to take it off. So there we go. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing any more. I'll give it one more minute and see if anybody's got any questions they want to throw at me. If other than that, we're good to go. Oh, I didn't make a slide for this and I should have. First of all, so look, there's two things I want to talk about the hotel. Real quick. Number one, for those of you that didn't see the post in the main group, there was a post about a week or so ago. Somebody got very disappointed because there's been conversations and talk about hairstylist and a makeup artist or whatever at the hotel for final night. And somebody was like, well, the spa has, they do blowouts or whatever they do. I don't know what the term is. Look at me. I don't know what the term is. Updos, whatever it is. I don't know. And I said, then call it. And of course somebody called the spa and turns out the hairstylists they don't work on Wednesdays. But what I've learned about the hotel is that a lot of those scheduling and thing is done based upon demand. So the reason why they don't pay attention to it is because in most cases, social events are not held on Wednesdays. Like the big blowout events, these things are normally on weekends or whatever. So they don't do it. So I reached out and I said, hey, we've got a formal function taking place on Wednesday night. Is there any way that we can switch and have somebody there that day? The worst they can say is no. Well, they didn't. They said yes. And so they are switching and they're going to reschedule and they're going to have a hairstylist, at least one there. They're actually looking to hire a second one. And if that's the case, then they'll have two on staff. But I need to remind everybody, you got to commit to this. So if you're one of those individuals that wants your hair done on Wednesday at Float, you got to put your damn credit card down. Because the problem is if they bring in all these people and then enough people don't do it, they're going to come to me. And I'm going to have to pay for the time that people aren't using. And I do not want to repeat a Float 2022 ever again. So I have stuck my neck out. Please don't disappoint me. Please make sure that if you are interested in that service, you take advantage of it and book it. And also keep in mind, if they only end up with one stylist, they're only going to be able to deal with so many of you in a day anyway. So there's that. Okay. The other thing I got to talk about real quick with the hotel, and then I see that the other thing that we have to talk about really quickly is the notion of there seems to be a lot of confusion about sharing rooms. Okay. And it's amazing how nobody reads anything except everyone is stuck on this. So with the foundation program, the foundation people have to have a room booked in their name. Okay. Because it's simple. They have to be staying at the host hotel and they have to be the primary room holder, which means they have to be the one whose credit card is holding the room. Now the only exception to this is if they are family. If it's like we have like a mother-daughter coming in the flotation program, we're not going to make them split a room, like get two rooms. So they're going to share a room. That's fine. If you're a foundation person, you need to be the primary room holder. That doesn't mean you can't have a roommate. It just means you can't have a roommate of another foundation person. Okay? That's what that means. So you can get a roommate. And then there's other people that are like reaching out to me going, I was told I have to have my own room at the hotel and I can't afford that. Nobody said you have to have your own room. In fact, we have a post in the float group for people looking for roommates. So that's okay. But for some reason there's a lot of confusion over this and I'm not really sure why, but there is. So I thought I would expand upon it. Nicole has a question. If we arrive after registration closes, can we attend the remainder of the Friday night social? I guess it depends on what time you're talking about because the registration desk closes at 7 p.m. on Friday. And the way security works, to be fair, Friday's probably the night, the loosest of the nights. Okay. Because again, it is a very casual thing Friday. The reason we have to create these policies and these rules is because there are people that will crash an event. There are people that aren't registered for the event, but they'll show up anyway and they'll hang out, they'll do whatever. And that happens at almost every event. You can't avoid that. We had that problem. There were 2 twisters in St. Louis that showed up every damn night, sat in the lobby. They never once, we nailed them once. They tried to, they actually, one of them wandered into one of the spaces during when we had the foil jam and was trying to take balloons. And I'm like, get your ass out of here. And at that point, he basically pushed the limit. In Chicago, there were people in Chicago who showed up and hung out in the lobby. And there were people even not from Chicago who showed up and hung out in the lobby of the hotel. It's annoying and it's problematic, but there's really very little you can do about it. But you can prevent them from coming to certain spaces. So that's where security kicks in. It might have to be something where security has to come get one of us and say, we need to verify that this is an attendee, and then we can let you in. So it just goes from there. So, but yeah, so it's a thing. So yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Friday night shouldn't be a problem. Saturday, Sunday, those are going to be problems. But yeah, so that should be good. So it's a good question. Thank you for asking. And it happens every year. Every year somebody shows up, 8 o'clock, like literally final nights or opening nights started. They show up at 8. Please let me in. Please let me in. That's funny. That's very funny. Tell me no, and next time we'll book an earlier flight. No. We're not, like I said, the Friday night event really isn't as crucial because there's just not as much stuff going on. And it is a lot more casual. Like I said, the Friday night function is really just kind of everybody hanging out and visiting, and it's nice. And Crystal Rutten brings her volleyball, thank God, and I get to pepper with her for as long as I can hold it. So it's great. Oh, I still cannot believe to this day that I peppered with her for a good solid hour at the Friday night event, and I was not, and I even pancaked, and I was not sore the next day. I could not believe that. For those of you that don't understand, the term it's a volleyball term. Pancaking is when you dive for the ball and you literally get your hand on the floor so that the ball, you don't have enough room to get under it and pop it up, but what you have is enough room to keep it from touching the floor. So you slide out, you fully extend, and then you put your hand in front of it, you get your hand under the ball so that the ball hits and bounces off your hand. That's considered a legal hit in volleyball. It's called a pancake. I had not done a pancake in probably 20 years. And the fact that I did it on a concrete, basically floor with carpet on it, spread full extension, hit the pancake, and then got up in one piece. I was impressed. At my age, hell yeah. There you go. Crystal Guerrero. I'm trying to come for the weekend. We would love to have you, Crystal. So good to see you out here. Weekend passes are $295 right now. $295. They go up to $395 on January 3rd. We would love to have you out there for the weekend. Good to see you. And remember, for those of you that do, if for those of you that are coming in for the weekend, you get to go to the vendor showcase, you get to go to the fashion show, you get to do everything that's not academic. Okay. You cannot go to the Fulcrum panels, that's academic. Which, by the way, I believe we're going to have an update on those next week. You cannot go to any of the master classes, but you can go to the sponsored sessions. You can go to those. And yeah, I think the last time I saw you, wasn't that when I was in New Orleans? I was doing a trade show. I was part of the Halloween and Party Expo, and I think that's the last time I saw you there. Yeah. Or am I confusing Houston? Am I confusing Houston? I can't remember which one it is. But yeah, I don't remember. It's been a long ass time though. So I'd love to see you. That'd be great to have you come join us. Yeah. Okay. So okay. Well, I guess it's safe to say, not seeing anything else. There we go. Okay, Crystal confirmed. There we go. Yep, it was. There we go. So yeah, that was. Yes, she was. This was before Uber. She was my personal shuttle, and I was great. And I got to hang out with her little daughter at the time, who I believe now is a grown adult. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was New Orleans. Okay. Yeah, grown adult. Yeah, fantastic. So always a pleasure. Crystal, it's been a very long time since we've seen you at Float. So yeah. Okay. I guess the only other thing I'm going to throw out there too is remind everybody too that if you are bringing your spouse with you, you might want to consider getting them a jam pass, a networking pass, because again, that allows them access to all the. The exception is the gala. It does not get you into the gala. That would involve an extra ticket. So there we go. Cheryl Skorick, I see you out there. I'll follow up with you shortly. So yeah, there we go. It gets them into the vendor showcase. It gets them into the social parties and things. It gets them to the jam room. They can hang out with you there. They can do all the kind of stuff. They just can't. The gala's an extra ticket. That's it. And by the way, for those of you that are wondering, we should be able to start putting those up for sale within the next week or two. The people that need gala tickets, guest tickets for the gala. Okay, folks, thank you all very much. Appreciate you all being here once again on behalf of Murphy and myself. Thank you very much for joining me for an hour and 40 minutes on a Sunday. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. We're very excited to see you guys soon. Remember, we are just 63 days away from opening night at Float 2026. I have a lot to do between now and then, but it's coming along and exciting, and we're looking forward to it. And again, thank you for being part of it. Thank you for helping bring it to life. Thank you for keeping it going. And thank you so much for just being part of my life. Appreciate you. So until we speak again, go out there and kick some butt. We'll talk soon.